The film opens by showing what looks like a specialized animal enclosure. A veterinarian named Lambert arrives to administer antibiotics to a chimpanzee named Ben. Ben sits silently in his cage, seeming unnaturally still. Meanwhile, Lambert keeps talking without pause, acting as if the chimp understands every word. Suddenly and without warning, Ben lunges at Dr. Lambert in a brutal attack. It doesn't take long for the doctor's face to be mutilated by the power of the adult chimpanzee, killing the doctor instantly. Ben is an intelligent chimpanzee, kept as the subject of research by a female professor. It is said that Ben can recognize over 300 human words, making him the smartest of his species. The story flashes back 2 days. We see Lucy, who is on a flight returning to her parents' home in Hawaii. On the plane, a young man accidentally bumps into her, picks up her dropped teddy bear and flirts briefly. Lucy then sits next to her close friend, Kate. They video call Lucy's younger sister, Erin, who is upset with Lucy for not visiting home sooner. A woman named Hannah also boards the plane, immediately catching the eye of the young men who scramble to help her. Kate had invited Hannah to join them on the Hawaii vacation. Lucy doesn't particularly like Hannah, finding her flirtatious, but Lucy decides not to ruin the trip by sulking. When they land, their friend Nick picks them up at the airport. Lucy has had a long-time crush on Nick, and seeing him again makes her feel a little awkward. They then head to Lucy's house. Upon arrival, Lucy reunites with her father, Adam, a famous deaf author who communicates using sign language. Adam was anxious about the book deal he was working on, but seeing Lucy immediately cheered him up. After Hannah is introduced to everyone, Ben the chimpanzee emerges. Ben uses a tablet that converts text into speech to communicate with them, leaving Lucy astonished by his intelligence. Lucy's deceased mother was a scientist who specialized in primate behavior. Ben was raised from infancy and has been part of their family for many years. That evening, Nick offers Hannah marijuana and attempts to flirt with her. After Nick leaves, Hannah wanders around the house and finds a large swimming pool with a stunning view. She considers taking a dip. Suddenly, Ben appears by the pool. Ben looks at the water and has an unusual reaction. He panics, sweating heavily and drooling, symptoms of hydrophobia, a common sign of rabies. However, Ben's condition is not yet critical. He exhibits symptoms like profuse sweating, uncontrolled drooling, and gasping for air. Ben reaches out toward Hannah, but when Hannah nervously offers her hand, Ben attacks her, attempting to bite. Adam immediately intervenes, using his whistle to calm Ben and lead him away. Adam assured Hannah, explaining that Ben only reacted badly to strangers, then told her to rest. While taking Ben back to his cage, Adam found a dead mongoose. Realizing something was wrong, he saw bite marks on Ben and decided to lock him inside the cage as a precaution. The next morning, Adam told everyone about the mongoose bite. Adam decided he would take the mongoose to the lab for a rabies test. He then contacted Dr. Lambert, the veterinarian who usually treated Ben. Adam warned his children to keep Ben locked in the cage, after which Adam left to attend his book launch event. They all enjoyed themselves by the pool. Hannah and Nick grew closer, which triggered jealousy in Lucy. Lucy challenged Hannah to call the boys they had met on the plane, Drew and Phil. Hannah, of course, knew Lucy's intentions. She pretended to accept the challenge but then immediately threw it back at Lucy. Too proud to back down in front of Nick, Lucy was unafraid. She gave the young men her home address and invited them to come over for some fun. Lucy helped a drunken Kate return to her room. It was revealed here that Lucy and Kate wore matching necklaces, signifying their close relationship. Hannah, now alone with Nick, accused Lucy of being jealous because Nick was getting close to her. Nick denied this, insisting he only considered Lucy a sister. He then kissed Hannah to prove his point, unaware that Lucy saw everything. It was at this moment that Dr. Lambert arrived to examine Ben and administer antibiotics, the start of all the chaos, because he opened Ben's cage and carelessly failed to close it afterward. The focus now shifted to Kate. Feeling slightly better, she took a walk outside. She spotted Ben's teddy bear. Not long after, Ben appeared. He had just killed the doctor. His savage appearance and aura terrified Kate, making her realize something was terribly wrong. Kate panicked and called Lucy. By the time Lucy arrived, Ben was gone. Erin also appeared and said that Ben would not hurt anyone, but suddenly Hannah's screams were heard coming from the pool. There, they were confused by Ben's condition. Nick tried to grab a rope to restrain Ben. Lucy helped to calm him down, and they finally managed to loop the rope around Ben's neck. Seeing their predicament, they tried to contact Dr. Lambert for help, but when the call connected, they heard Dr. Lambert's phone ringing from the direction of Ben's cage. This realization gave them chills as they thought about what had happened to the doctor. Ben grew increasingly savage and tried to attack Nick, but the rope around his neck held him back. While they were confused about what to do, Ben suddenly managed to snap the rope restraining his neck. Acting like a madman, Ben immediately attacked Erin, who was closest to him. With his sharp teeth, he bit Erin's leg and tore a piece of flesh from her leg. They all pulled Erin and then jumped into the pool. This action seemed to give them a reprieve, as Ben appeared very reluctant to approach the water. Trapped with no way out, they could only cry for help. Behind them was the edge of a cliff, while Ben waited at the side of the pool with murderous intent. Ben, who didn't dare enter the water, circled around and approached them from the cliffside. Nick saw his chance and tried to push Ben off, but he forgot that chimpanzees use their hands and feet to hang on. Instead, Nick was caught by Ben and thrown down the ravine. Nick died instantly. The girls became hysterical, and when Ben let out a terrifying laugh, they realized that their pet had turned into a nightmare. They floated in the pool for an unknown amount of time. Erin's condition, worsened by Ben's bite, was deteriorating quickly. She needed a vaccine immediately before it was too late. Lucy then carefully climbed up and retrieved her cell phone, which had dropped earlier during the struggle with Ben, but the phone was broken. No calling functions worked except the last call feature, which connected them to Drew and Brad. They begged for help, but the two young men thought the girls were flirting and just laughed. Suddenly, without them noticing, Ben was right above them. He grabbed onto a light cable and yanked Hannah's air, lifting her with such force that Hannah's scalp tore, but she survived. Elsewhere, Adam received confirmation from the doctor that the mongoose was positive for rabies. Seeing this, Adam immediately tried to call his daughter, but sadly, no one could answer the call. Erin's condition continued to worsen. Since Ben was nowhere in sight, Lucy and Kate decided to sneak inside to get the phone from the house. They crept into the house. In the living room, a cell phone was visible, charging. But when Lucy tried to grab it, she accidentally pressed a remote and turned on the television. The noise immediately put Ben on alert. The two girls hid inside a closet as Ben entered and destroyed the room. Ben seemed to smell them and approached the closet, but the sound of cartoons from the television distracted him. Ben then left the living room. After making sure the chimpanzee was gone, Lucy came out and grabbed the phone. But she didn't realize it was Ben's strategy to lure her out. As if mocking her, Ben used a communication device to type the words, "Lucy, bad." Ben jumped, attacked Lucy, and knocked her down. Luckily, Kate hit Ben with a stick, allowing them to escape and lock the door. However, they underestimated this primate. Rabies is Latin for madness. The mad chimpanzee, Ben, then smashed through the glass, making Lucy and Kate immediately bolt away in fear. But tragically, Kate was caught by Ben. She fell on the stairs, and with his bare hands, Ben crushed Kate's head until it was unrecognizable. Blood splattered everywhere. Lucy was hysterical seeing her best friend tragically killed. But Ben wasn't finished. He attacked Lucy and knocked her down. Fortunately, Hannah intervened. She wrapped a robe around Ben's neck and pulled Lucy into the water with her. They then tried together to pull Ben into the water. But how could the strength of these two girls possibly defeat the power of a mature chimpanzee, which is stronger than the combined force of several grown men? Their plan failed, and Ben escaped the grip of the rope. Meanwhile, outside, Drew and Phil, two obnoxious, horny young men, arrived at the house. They were sure the girls liked them, and had even pretended to ask for help just to lure them there. They split up to search. In one room, Drew found a photo of Ben and mocked the chimpanzee. Then suddenly, Ben appeared near him. Drew tried to stay calm, distracting Ben with keys, treating him like a stupid primate. He didn't realize Ben might be smarter than him. When Ben started cornering him, Drew, still joking, thought the chimp was going to rape him. He suddenly realized the creature in front of him was actually death itself. As Ben tore off his constantly joking jaw, genuine terror finally appeared in Drew's eyes. Phil found Lucy and the others by the pool, but he ignored Lucy's desperate signals to stay quiet. This guy was much like Drew, thinking he was about to have some fun there. Of course, he immediately caught Ben's attention, who finished him off instantly. Seeing this chance, while Ben was busy, Hannah ran from the pool, grabbed the keys, and got into a car. But she was truly unlucky. She got into the wrong car. She wanted to get out, but sensed Ben nearby and changed her mind. She then called for help. Unluckily again, Ben turned out to be holding the keys to the car Hannah was in. When Hannah locked the car from the inside, Ben easily opened it, eventually climbing in through the trunk door. Finally, Hannah met the same fate as the others. She was dragged into the car by Ben, and her body was beaten until it was a bloody pulp. In her last attempt, Lucy staggered toward the house, trying not to make a sound even as glass shards stabbed her feet. Finally, Adam returned home. He was confused by the destruction around him, thinking these youngsters must have partied too hard. The deaf man casually grabbed a slice of pizza, while Lucy desperately tried to warn him of the danger. Ben lunged at Lucy, and Adam unknowingly left his daughter alone to face the chimp's madness. Lucy tried to hide under the bed but was dragged out. In her panic, she stabbed Ben's festering wound, causing the chimpanzee pain. Erin distracted Ben, allowing Lucy to escape. Adam finally realized the horror of the situation when he saw Brad's mutilated body. Lucy's face was nearly mutilated like Brad's. Fortunately, Adam arrived and blew his whistle. He managed to stop Ben, and now Ben's attention was focused on him. A brutal fight broke out between the man and the chimpanzee he had raised since childhood.
Adam was overpowered, but in a critical moment, Adam managed to stab Ben using a piece of broken bottle.
Just when they thought it was over, Ben rose again for one last attack. He charged at Lucy and knocked her down, but Adam caught her. Meanwhile, Ben died instantly, impaled by a broken piece of wood. This time, the terror of the crazy chimp was truly over. That concludes our recap for today. We hope you were scared. Help us out by liking and commenting, and don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying recap content.